Hi, Rosie Finn here, astrologer in Olympia, Washington. And I just want to talk about the next couple of months. We have a new moon that's coming up tomorrow on Thursday, July 24th. Then there's a full moon. Let's see, when's that full moon? The full moon is on August 9th. And then at the end of the month, there's a new moon in August 23rd. That new moon on August 23rd begins the eclipse season, which will go till October 7th. And that eclipse season is filled with very intense and important and significant transits. So, what's happening this month is we're getting ready for September. And the transits this month are perfect for getting ready for September. They're perfectly aligned. Let me share the new moon that's happening tomorrow. New moon, July 24th. So this new moon, nice Leo energy, some fire energy to get us started. Leo is fixed fire, which means there's sustainable energy with it. Mercury's retrograde. Mercury retrogrades are perfect for getting ready for something. It will be retrograde till August 11th. So Mercury is still retrograde. It's been retrograde for a couple of days now, since about the 18th, 17th, 18th. And when it's going retrograde over the power point, over that 9-10 degrees Leo point. So it's giving us access to courage. It's giving us access to direction, to that sense of it's time to go for it, but it's retrograde. So let's wait until it's direct over the power point, which will be around the 17th until about the 27th of August. So Mercury will be at that power point on the new moon in August, at the end of August, which will give us a real sense of we've got to do this. The time is now. And the time hasn't been quite right until Pluto goes out of bounds. Pluto goes out of bounds at the end of August, beginning of September. So we're seeing that Pluto's going out of bounds at the same time as we have a new moon that says go for it. And then we have eclipses that are game changers. Eclipses turn things upside down. They're like throwing all the pieces up in the air, and then we just have to see where they fall. So when we come back to this moment that we're in now, and we're looking at, okay, now it's time to take some steps forward and to do the things that take a little bit of courage, a little bit of, it's time to put myself out there a little more. It's time to put yourself into some situations where maybe you have to take a stronger stand. It's time to get clear about the things that are getting in the way for you. What's blocking you? What's hindering you? What do you need to take care of in your life? Are there things around your kids or around your health or around your financial situation? You've got a month to shore things up. And you'll have time again to do this preparation work December, January, February. So it's not like you're preparing for the rest of your life or you have to have everything figured out for then. You just have to have enough figured out so that as you're on the wild seas of September and October, you have a little bit of a cushion. You have a little bit of breathing room. So if you can take some time off in September, great. This is a good time to be working. This is a good time to be doing the thing that you're here to do. So Mercury retrograde, I think it's great for writing. I think it's great for doing projects. It could be excellent for doing any home projects. So that's the main transit here. Let me switch over to the full moon. And just also to note that Saturn and Neptune are still in Aries. They're retrograde, which means they're moving back towards moving out of Aries back into Pisces. Saturn was in Pisces for the last 2.5 years. Neptune's been in Pisces since 2012. As it moves back into Pisces, where it will be for the last time, for a while anyway, Saturn will move back into Pisces on September 1st, 2nd, and Neptune will move back into Pisces August 22nd, 23rd, in that time period. So we're looking at Saturn and Neptune also dancing on the world axis point. The world axis point gives us direct connection to what's going on in the world. So we don't need as much, I want to say interference, not that we ever need interference, but there's a sense of there always being interference. How do we interpret the news? All this subterfuge. When we get to planets at the world axis point, it's like the message is clear. We can hear it clearly. We can see through the din of too much noise happening. So this new moon, starting tomorrow, think of it as a month of preparation. We can go slow. It's fire energy, but it's fixed fire, which means we want to keep the fire burning. We're tending to it. All right, let's switch to full moon in August. Okay, so on this full moon, Sun, 17 degrees Leo. This is just outside of the orbs that I typically use for the PowerPoint. It's kind of close, so I think it's making a statement. Mercury's still retrograde, but it's just about to, it's stationing right at this point. When Mercury's stationing, it's pretty potent in terms of magical communication, clarity, being able to take a stand. So again, this like take a stand, be clear about where you're headed with your life. If you're not clear, stand still. The forest knows where you are, right? If you're in the middle of the ocean knows where you are. Hold still if you don't know where you're going or where you need to be. But if you do know, take some steps, take the first steps, take the next step. There's a lovely Venus-Jupiter conjunction here that's happening at this full moon, which is about love and really opening to more compassion, even joy and fun. That Venus-Jupiter conjunction is meant to give us some light, give us some hope, give us some joy. All right, so then we see that Saturn and Neptune still obviously in Aries, not back into the world axis point. You have to wait until that gets between Aries back to 29 degrees Pisces. I use 1 degree orb of 0 degrees, so it's not back there yet. All right, and for some reason I didn't pull up the new moon in August, but let's just go to the eclipse charts. All right, here's the lunar eclipse. I did this for Cluny, France. That's where I'll be. It'll be right at dusk. At that time period, sunset, the sun will have just set, the moon will just be rising. This eclipse, 15 degrees, it's a total lunar because it's within 3 degrees of the nodes. And that total lunar eclipse is going to dismantle. It's going to really be this unwinding, this letting go, this release. When we're in a time where things are getting thrown up in the air, when all the pieces are in disarray, best thing to do is to be in that stillness, to be present, to watch what's happening. If you're called to be part of a demonstration, if you're called to be part of the movement, then go, but only because you feel absolutely carried and held, like this is the moment for you to be participating in whatever you're being called to participate in during this month. Neptune will still be in Aries, but we can see Saturn has now moved into Pisces. It did that earlier in the month, and it is at the world axis point. So Saturn is clarity, it's boundaries, it's truth, it's control in a way. But N degrees of Pisces, there's no control there. There's just trust. There's just how do we move into inclusivity and oneness and sacredness? So this is a powerful moment to watch what's happening in the world and to be present for this, because this is the tide turning. This is the big shift that we've been waiting decades for. This is this moment where something is leaving, some kind of exodus is happening. So here's the solar eclipse. September 21st, 2025, 3:54 p.m. in Washington, D.C. That's 12:54 p.m. on the West Coast and 29 degrees Virgo. This is a magical eclipse because we have eclipse energy in alignment with the equinox, in alignment with Saturn and Neptune. So Saturn, let's say Vedically, when we look at the malefics, which are Saturn and Mars, and they're connected to an eclipse point, this is difficult. This is painful. This is something is happening that's we're having to shed or let go of something. Neptune adds its own kind of magic to this. I think there's something special about this eclipse. It actually looks like, because Saturn's hitting the eclipse point the week before the eclipse, I think the most potent time of the shift is right in between the lunar eclipse on the 7th and the solar eclipse on the 21st. This is a time to be where you're meant to be. And if you don't know, again, be still. The forest knows where you are, the ocean knows where you are. Let that carry you during this time period. Because as this is happening, Pluto is out of bounds. And as Pluto's out of bounds, it's allowing something to happen, an uprising to happen, a reformation to happen. It's going to give us permission to take down the structures and the powers that we know are toxic and corrupt. And it hasn't been out of bounds since World War II. During World War II, is out of bounds to the north. It hasn't been out of bounds to the south, a time of revolution, since the French and American Revolution time. So we are entering a new, very powerful window of time. Pluto will go out of bounds every fall, well, about August to December for the next 10 years. And so each year, Pluto's going to go out of bounds August to December. It's going to allow for this uprising and an awakening and a shift in consciousness that is already in the works. It's already here. I think it's pretty synchronistic that all these other transits are happening at the same time. That Neptune will be moving into Aries. Saturn will be in Aries next year. Neptune's going to move back into Pisces, and that's at the end of October. So end of October, November, December, January. Saturn moves back into Pisces September 2nd, and it will move into Aries for the next 2 years, starting on February 15th. And then Neptune will move into Aries, where it will be for the next decade, January 27th. And then Saturn and Neptune will conjunct on February 20th at 0 degrees Aries. And that will be at the Aries point. So February is really an extraordinary beginning, but we have to have things become very visible and real. We need to have the eruption. We need to have the uprisings beginning in September. So take August, do your normal things. Take care of your homes, take care of your kids, take care of your work, keep your lives in some way in check as you physically, emotionally, spiritually are getting ready. And how do you get ready for the unknown? I mean, really, you just do the next thing. You pay attention to your intuition. What are you called to do today? How are you here to do it? Look a little bit deeper at your relationships, what needs to change so that they're in better alignment, so that when the crisis happens or when these shifts happen, you're in as right relationship with yourself as you possibly can be.